Hello, Petals. How you doing? How things going? I can't believe this year's nearly over. It's scary. Just so much has happened this year. It's definitely one to reflect back on, but it's something that, you get these people who are like, oh, new year, new me. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to get into the gym. I'm going to get into a fitness regime. I'm going to go into a new diet. I'm going to change all my habits. And then literally within a week, they go back to doing the things where they are. I mean, it's like I like to try and do things year round, just to try and kind of improve on things. But this is a time for reflection. It is a time for everybody coming together and la-di-da-di-da. And as such, as I said, I've mentioned already, I'm going to probably do a live on Christmas Day for those people who haven't got families or who just want to get away and just kind of and I was thinking I might just do the read of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in one go, which is a bit of a challenge, but I might be able to do it. But if I can't do the whole thing in one go, at least then I can kind of, add on to it, later on. But any input that you've got, I'd be grateful to hear, because I really value your opinion, as you know. So anything that you can give me input on would be absolutely amazing. As I said, I'll probably do a poll on the community page about should I do a live on Christmas Day or not. And I might do a poll as well as what would you like me to read, or should we just have a little bit of a chit chat? It's kind of like, or do a bit of a game, or just like what would people like to engage with, because for a lot of people, I suppose Christmas is a very, very difficult time of year, and I've had quite a few where it's been challenging because I don't celebrate Christmas, but there's lots of other stuff. But anyway, you know how life is, and I can't express enough how grateful I am for what you guys have done for me. So I want to give back, all year you support the channel and you support the reading and you interact, and I adore you with the core of my being, and it's so lovely, the little community we've actually made together. But yeah, I just want to, continue it on into 2025 with a positive note and, go in together sort of thing. We can even do something on New Year's as well, because obviously we're all around the world, so there'll be lots of New Year's. But I'll stop waffling now. So basically, I'll do a poll as to, do we do a live on Christmas Day? I'll do a poll as to which book should we read? And of course, any input you guys want to give me would be very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. So my lovely, lovely beans, well, not my lovely beans, but you know what I mean. So lovely, lovely beans, little petals, amazing, wonderful people. We are going to do chapter 6, a short one, again, of Here Comes the Sun by our beloved Mr. Tom Holt. High above the peaks of the Blue Mountains, the sun, under escort, completed its banking manoeuvre, straightened out, and began to head east. On the ground, all the villagers, except one, threw their hats in the air and cheered. "Well, well," said old Ari the blacksmith, "it's not every day you see something like that." The other villagers were silent for a while. Even by their standards of simple-hearted straightforwardness did old Ari come out with some pretty asinine comments from time to time. Still, he made a cracking good horseshoe, so nobody really minded. "There's something to tell the grandchildren about, Bjorn," remarked Gustav, lowering the shard of smoked glass through which he had prudently watched the whole thing. "It's remarkable." Bjorn said nothing. He was fitting a new handle to his axe, having broken the old one when he lost his temper earlier on. Bjorn got through more axe handles than the rest of the community put together. "I never cease to wonder," Gustav went on, knocking out his simple corn-cob pipe on the sole of his boot and stuffing tobacco into the bowl, "at the infinite variety of Providence and her astounding." "I don't," said Bjorn. "If you've got nothing better to do than stand there yakking, you could pass me that rasp. Poxy, bloody, cross-grained stuff, hickory." Gustav passed him the rasp. "I mean," he went on, 67 years I've been alive, and I've never seen the like. Never in all my bun, I have." Gustav's merry, weather-beaten old face contracted into an unaccustomed frown. "You have?" he asked. "Oh yes, more times than you've had hot dinners. Give me the wedge. No, not that one, the small one." "That's very remarkable, neighbour Bjorn," said Gustav, with a voice entirely devoid of disbelief. I haven't, and I am much older than you. Bjorn stood up and banged the axe head 3 times on the ground to seat it in the handle. At the 3rd blow, a long crack appeared in the handle. He swore, broke the handle over his knee, and reached for the auger. You should be more careful, Gustav said. You could hurt your knee doing something like that. Bjorn laughed unpleasantly. What chance? This was, Gustav couldn't help feeling, a typical sort of conversation with young Bjorn. Strange. He looked a pleasant enough sort of fellow. Perhaps he had had an unhappy life before he came to the village. Are you sure you've seen things like? Gustav pointed at the sun. Bjorn nodded. Yeah, he said. I used to work for them, didn't I? Narrator's note, I really apologise for sounding a bit Welsh there, but you know, I've only been learning Norwegian for 8 months. Jane looked suddenly around, the toothbrush still in her mouth. She started to say. The man made an apologetic gesture. Sorry, he said. I didn't realise. I can come back later if you... Jane looked at him. Yes, there was something about him that told her that he was another one of them. What was it now? You're a different one, aren't you? She said. I mean, you're not the same one who came before, are you? Or are you him with a different body on? No, the man replied. I'm a different one. My name is Staff. Staff? The man shrugged slightly. It's not my actual name, he said, but it's what everybody called me for longer than I can remember. It's short for Chief of Staff. Oh. Jane extracted the toothbrush and laid it down on the soap dish. I wish you lot wouldn't keep creeping up on me like this. I didn't mean to creep, Staff said. I just... But Jane wasn't going to be conciliated that easily. I mean, she said, there I am, brushing my teeth, and suddenly there's this face over my shoulder. Did you ever work for a man called Hitchcock by any chance? Fat bloke, big nose. The man looked puzzled. Not that I can remember, he said. Jane smiled apologetically. Sorry, she said. Human joke. I don't suppose you devils know much about the movies. The man looked quite hurt. Actually, he said, I'm not a devil, not at all. Sorry, Jane said. I meant to say Damon. It just slipped out. I'm not a Damon either, the man replied. I'm a... He paused and blushed. Well, I'm not a Damon. Different department. Jane thought for a moment, and then a slow grin spread over her toothpaste-flecked face. I've got it, she said. You're an angel. Please, said the man. I really would prefer it if we didn't use that word. It's so... He waved his arms helplessly. Well, said Jane, what word should I use? Public servant, said the man firmly. I think it's a much better word. Really? Don't you? Jane nodded and looked at the man very carefully. Tall, grey hair, thinning a little on top and thickening out a bit around the middle, with a lot of hair on the backs of his hands and wearing a suit with rather shiny cuffs. Public servant did seem to fit the bill rather better than the angel. Quite right, she said. Look, can we get out of the bathroom, please? Yes, of course. The man moved awkwardly and opened the door for her. Jane tried not to mind. Coffee? She said. Yes, thank you. The man sat down on a straight-back chair and folded his arms. He looked a bit embarrassed. I've put the kettle on, Jane said. Now, is all this connected with what happened to the sun just now? The man nodded. You're very observant, he said. Not very, Jane replied, wrinkling her nose. I mean, look at it sequentially. The sun goes haywire, supernatural beings start following me about. You don't have to be Alistair Crowley to get the idea that there may be a common factor. Sorry, did I say something wrong? No, said the man. Or at least you weren't to know. It's just that, we don't mention that person in the department. Person? Oh. Exactly, said the man. You may remember Peter Wright, you know, Spycatcher. Well, think on, as we used to say when I was a boy. Oh, Jane bit her lip. Look, can we get to the point? What do you lot want with me? The other one, Damon, said something about a job, but She trailed off. The man was nodding his head. A job, she repeated. You can't be serious, surely. The man stood up and walked to the window. Well, he said, drawing the curtains slightly. You saw all that today, I take it? The sun and everything? Yes, indeed. The man cringed slightly. Wasn't very impressive, was it? Jane shrugged. I don't know, she said. Was it supposed to be? I mean, I'm not really up on portents and things like that. I thought that sort of thing only happened when people like Julius Caesar got stabbed. And there isn't anybody like Julius Caesar about much these days. I mean, you've got to be realistic, haven't you? The whole lot of them aren't worth a light shower between them. It wasn't a portent, said the man quietly. You'd guessed, hadn't you? Jane nodded. Have you got my mind bugged or something? Because if you have, the man shook his head firmly. Nothing of the sort, please believe me, he said. But we, at the department, well, you had guessed, hadn't you? Yes, Jane said. If you mean that business with the sun was a cock-up, then yes. It was, said the man, and shuddered. Staff shortages? Jane raised an eyebrow. Staff shortages? The man nodded. It's a nightmare, he said. An absolute bloody nightmare. Honestly, I haven't the faintest idea where it's all going to end. From the kitchen, Jane heard the click of the kettle switching itself off. Narrator's note, this just makes me think I did treat myself to a new kettle and it's absolutely splendid. Oh, and I got my graphics card as well. That is a game changer. I digress. From the kitchen, Jane heard the click of the kettle switching itself off. She decided to ignore it. Narrator's note, how dare she? But how can you have staff shortages? She asked, bewildered. I mean, I thought the whole point of you public servants was you go on forever. Immortal, you know? Immortal, said the man quietly, doesn't mean you go on working forever. It just means that you have a very long retirement, which means, he added, that with each year that passes, paying the pensions takes up more and more of the available budget. At the moment, pensions account for 99.972 of our available revenue. Think about it. Jane thought about it. I see, she said. Exactly, said the man. And that's only a part of it. But bluntly, we're running out of manpower. You see, every time a public servant retires, there's a vacancy, right? I suppose so, Jane said. I hadn't thought. Take it from me, said the man. There is. Now, the number of... I don't know how to put this. You don't? No, said the man, shaking his head. It's, delicate. Where do you suppose angels, public servants, come from? Jane felt her tongue go dry with embarrassment. Mummy public servants and daddy public servants? The man scowled. Certainly not, he said. It's a metaphysical impossibility. No, the stork brings them, of course. And do you know what's happened to the natural habitat of storks in the last 50 years? Well, said the man, I think you can see what I'm getting at. The storks are dying out, so it makes recruitment a problem. A bloody great big problem, and that is where you come in, he added. Jane felt herself going red all over. Now look, she said. No, said the man quickly. Not like that. I mean, we've decided, or at least Mr. Ganger and I have decided. Mr. Ganger, you've met him, said the man. Oh. We've decided, the man continued, that the only way out is to start recruiting mortals. Suitable mortals, obviously. And, well, what? Said Jane. Her voice, incidentally, would have frozen oxygen. The man swallowed hard, and then made a show of noticing his watch. Good Lord, he said, it's at the time. Anyway, you think about it, won't you? I mean, you'll be like the a pioneer. That's right, a pioneer. The whole success of the programme. No, And if it works, the man said quickly, standing up and knocking over a small pile of tapes on the floor, it'll mean that we can start replacing key staff, reorganising the whole running of the department, and no. So you'll think about it. Good. Well, I'll be saying no. We'll be in... The man suddenly became translucent. Touch. Please give it very, sir. Then transparent. Thought. Then invisible. Cool. No, Jane said. Absolutely not. No way. She stopped. She suddenly had the feeling that she was talking to herself. Honestly, she said. Wow. So I take it Jane doesn't want to take the job. Wonder what's going to happen in the next chapter, which is actually 10 pages long, so it's a bit of a longer chapter. It's double the length. Then we've got a little shorter one after that. So, yes. But I'm so glad to see all the feedback on doing Here Comes the Sun. We've got to thank Rose for suggesting it in the first place when we did our little poll, because there's so many incredible books by Tom Holt that I just want to do. But this is definitely one I wanted to end off an incredible year with, because it's been amazing with you guys. And you guys, it's phenomenal. And I am really very, very grateful. I love the comments. I love the messages, emails, the interactions. Watcher and your wife, you're an amazing couple. You're amazing people. I hope you're both doing well, and I hope she's recovering well from her surgery, like the boss that she is, which is awesome. And DJ Crickle as well. I hope your daughter has a lovely holiday in Edinburgh. It's an amazing place. Love Edinburgh. It's absolutely wonderful. But I've got to admit, I prefer Glasgow because it's got the Cat House, and that's a really nice nightclub. Well, it's not a nightclub. It's like a big bar, and it's dark. Was it Alley Cat? Cats? Oh my goodness! It's when I went to see Ministry's farewell gig in Glasgow. Was last time I was there. That's a long time ago. I was practically had my face smooshed up against the front barriers. It was incredible. Ministry, an amazing band. I've gone off on a tangent again. So, what we're going to do is, shall we do a live on Christmas Day? We'll have to work out some time that works with everybody. And what book do you reckon we should read? Yes. Or should we do a game? Or should we do a combination? Just any thoughts. As I said, I'll do a little poll as well. I'll make a little graphic or something. And shall we do Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Or shall we do something else? Should we do short stories? We've been batting about the whole Grimm's fairy tales idea, which is wonderful because I've actually got the book, but you might hear page flips. But yeah, that'd be good fun. So I'm going to stop waffling now. And hopefully we'll be back in a couple of days with another chapter, providing I don't get yet another bout of COVID, another bout of flu, anything else that's going on. I'll still have my voice, which works out nicely. So as ever, if you've got this far, please let me know how you're doing. Hit that notifications bell. If you enjoyed the chapter, please give a little bink for the like button. Because, the thing is, the hamsters won't come back. They're on strike. They're not going to come back until I get those likes coming in. I don't really mind if it's likes, actually, to be honest. I think, shares, subscribes, notifications bells, all that sort of thing. It all helps the channel keep going. It shows that it's worth it. It shows that people are listening all the way through. That's the really reason why I say, can you just leave a little, you could leave a little Christmas tree. If you've listened all the way through, please leave a Christmas tree in the comments. Yeah. There you go, you see. And I am very grateful when people do listen all the way through. That does, I do really appreciate that. But you see, there you go. I've gone off on another flippant tangent. You see. Nightmare. So yes, I'll just say, please let me know how you're doing. I'm still learning the SpongeBob song. I'm not very good at it, but I will get there in the end. When my voice is fully recovered, and we'll have great fun doing that. Did you find the thrash version? Did you find the thrash version of it? I bet you did. Anyway, lovely beans. I'll be back in a couple of days, maybe sooner. But you take care of yourselves. If you're having to deal with these ridiculous winds that we've had in the UK, keep safe, keep sound. I'm supposed to get a good blustering of snow next week. Supposed to. Probably be just a little... You see, that's the technical term of the snow that we're getting right now. But yes, keep warm if it's too cold out there. Keep hydrated if it's too hot out there. Most of all, keep safe. Talk to you soon, Paddle. Take it easy.